Why synthetic oil isn't really universal. Most people assume synthetic oil is universal. If the bottle says 5W30 full synthetic, then it should perform the same no matter where it comes from, right? Well, what if that isn't true? What if two bottles with the exact same viscosity rating and the same certification behave completely differently once they're inside your engine? Because here's the surprising truth. Synthetic oil is not a single formula. It's a chemistry philosophy. And that philosophy changes depending on where in the world it was made. During the past few months, I compared synthetic oils sourced from different countries: Germany, Japan, the United States, South Korea, France, the United Kingdom, Malaysia, and Turkey. Same viscosity ranges, same full synthetic label, same advertised standards. But once testing started, the results were nowhere near the same. Some oils stayed stable under extreme heat. Others broke down and thinned out faster than expected. Some kept engines clean and deposit-free. Others formed varnish and sludge shockingly early. A few performed exactly as advertised. And one performed so far beyond expectations that it completely changed how I think about oil. So the real question isn't, which synthetic oil is the best? Which synthetic oil is engineered for your engine, your climate, and your driving style? Because a synthetic oil designed for cold weather city driving won't behave the same way in a turbocharged engine running 250 degrees Fahrenheit oil temperatures on the highway. And an oil blended for long European service intervals isn't identical to one blended for short American stop-and-go driving. By the end of this video, you'll understand why oils from different countries don't just look different, they act different. And more importantly, how to choose the one that actually protects your engine. Why oils differ internationally. The hidden influences. If oil were just oil, then every country would use the same formula. But synthetic oil is shaped by far more than viscosity charts or marketing labels. Behind every bottle are layers of regulations, climate expectations, refinery capability, driving habits, and even cultural engineering philosophy. And once you see these differences, the global variation suddenly makes sense. Let's start with regulations. In the United States and Canada, fuel economy standards and emissions rules push manufacturers toward low-friction oils like 0W20 and 5W20. Less drag equals better MPG on paper. And that matters when automakers can face massive fines for falling short. Europe, on the other hand, prioritizes long oil change intervals and high-temperature stability, especially because many vehicles frequently operate at Autobahn speeds. That's why European oils tend to be thicker, have higher HTHS ratings, and require strict ACEA or OEM approvals. Then there's climate. Countries like Malaysia or Middle Eastern regions experience extreme ambient heat, so their oils must resist oxidation and evaporation far better than oils designed for cold climates like Japan or Northern Europe, where cold start flow is critical. Driving style plays a role too. Some countries experience mostly short urban trips, meaning condensation and fuel dilution are bigger challenges. Others see long-distance highway driving, demanding thermal stability and low volatility over hours of continuous operation. Finally, base oil availability and refinery technology matter. Some regions have easier access to GTL or PAO processing, while others rely primarily on Group 3 refining. So even if two bottles look identical on the shelf, the chemistry inside is shaped by the environment where the oil was engineered. And that's why performance can vary dramatically. Base oils and chemistry. Not all synthetic means the same. Before comparing oils from different countries, there's one critical thing to understand. The word synthetic doesn't mean one universal formula. In fact, synthetic oils fall into multiple categories based on how the base stock is created. These categories dramatically affect heat resistance, volatility, sludge prevention, and long-term stability. Most synthetic oils start with one or a blend of these groups. Group 3, highly refined petroleum base oil, legal to call full synthetic in markets like the US, but not always considered true synthetic in Europe. Group 3 Plus, or hydrocracked ultra-pure variants, better stability, lower volatility, often found in premium Asian blends. Group 4 PAO, polyalpha C olefin, true chemically engineered synthetic, excellent high heat durability, cold flow performance, and oxidation resistance. Group V, esters, the highest grade used in performance oils. Esters cling to metal surfaces, resist extreme temperatures, and remain stable even under abusive driving. Countries don't use these base oils randomly. They choose based on climate, refinery access, and engineering philosophy. For example, German oils often rely heavily on PAO and ester blends, prioritizing thermal endurance and long drain intervals. Japan tends to use ultra-pure base oils with low ash to protect emissions equipment and timing chains. The US market includes everything from high-performance PAO blends to budget oils primarily made from Group 3. This is where the misunderstanding begins. Two bottles labeled 5W30 full synthetic may behave completely differently under stress depending on which base oils were used, even if the viscosity rating is identical. So, when people say oil is oil, the chemistry says otherwise. Testing process, how the oils were evaluated. To make this comparison fair, each oil wasn't just poured into an engine and judged by feel. Synthetic oils behave differently under controlled stress, real-world driving, and long-term wear. So, we used a multi-stage evaluation method similar to what manufacturers, independent labs, and endurance teams rely on. The first stage was lab analysis. Each oil was tested for viscosity accuracy, additive composition, base oil quality indicators, volatility, and shear resistance. This revealed what was inside each bottle before any driving began, including how much molybdenum, zinc, detergents, or friction modifiers were present. Next came the thermal and stress testing phase. Oils were exposed to repeated heat cycles to mimic real driving, cold starts, city traffic, high RPM bursts, and long highway runs. Turbocharger simulation was included because turbo bearings are often the first components to suffer when oil breaks down. This stage told us how quickly each oil thinned out, oxidized, or evaporated under realistic workloads. Finally, the most important step, a mechanical teardown. After extended runtime, engines were disassembled and inspected for varnish, sludge formation, piston deposit thickness, timing chain wear, cam lobe scoring, and turbo oil coking. This real-world evidence showed whether the oil maintained protection where it mattered, on metal surfaces under pressure and heat. The combination of chemical analysis, simulated stress, and physical teardown provided a complete picture, not just marketing claims or spec sheets. Because the truth is, two oils can look identical on paper and perform completely differently once they're inside an engine. Category 1, budget/entry formulations, Turkey plus UK. We'll start with the oils at the entry level, the ones that are affordable, easy to find, and marketed as full synthetic, but engineered with cost efficiency in mind. In this category, oils from Turkey and the United Kingdom stood out not because they failed, but because they revealed how different goals shape formulation. Turkish synthetic oils are widely accessible and often cost significantly less than premium brands. Most rely primarily on Group 3 base stocks with modest additive packages. In lab testing, they met minimum standards, but during heat and shear stress, viscosity fell more than expected, sometimes by over 15%. Inside engines, that meant light cam scoring, faster piston crown carbon formation, and noticeable darkening in turbo oil passages. These oils may perform acceptably in short urban commuting or naturally aspirated engines, but they struggled when exposed to extended high-temperature operation, especially in turbocharged applications. UK-produced oils performed slightly differently. They were more consistent and generally better balanced, with more robust detergents and better volatility control than the Turkish blends. But they still leaned conservative, moderate additive strength, mid-grade wear protection, and average high-temperature stability. The oils kept engines reasonably clean and maintained protection during regular driving, but they weren't optimized for extreme heat, long drain intervals, or timing chain-sensitive engines. Neither of these oils performed poorly. They simply weren't engineered for harsh environments. For daily driving in mild climates and with routine oil changes, they're perfectly serviceable. But for turbo engines, long trips, desert heat, or heavy loads, their limitations become clear quickly. Category 2. Heat-adapted oils, Malaysia. Next comes a category shaped almost entirely by climate. Oils formulated in Malaysia face one unavoidable reality: heat. Constant, intense, year-round heat. Unlike regions with seasonal temperature swings, engines in tropical environments rarely see cold start conditions. Instead, they spend most of their life idling in humidity, crawling through traffic, or running long distances with elevated oil temperatures. Because of that, Malaysian synthetic oils are engineered first and foremost for thermal stability. In testing, these oils showed strong resistance to oxidation, meaning they stayed chemically stable even after repeated high-temperature cycles. They also maintained viscosity better than the entry-tier oils, showing only moderate shear loss under stress. That's important because once oil thins too much at high heat, metal-to-metal contact becomes more likely inside the engine. However, there were trade-offs. Malaysian oils tended to have higher volatility, meaning more of the oil evaporated under extreme temperatures. This can contribute to gradual oil consumption over time, especially in small turbocharged engines or older engines with widened tolerances. Their detergent packages were also moderate rather than aggressive, meaning the oils resisted sludge formation reasonably well, but didn't clean as aggressively as top-tier blends from Japan or Germany. During the teardown stage, engines running Malaysian oil were impressively free from thick deposits and sludge, proof that the oils were built for heat survival, but under extreme turbo temperatures or high RPM stress, where metals were slightly higher compared to formulations specifically engineered for turbo longevity. In short, Malaysian oils are ideal for tropical climates, desert regions, or constant high-temperature driving, but they may not be the strongest choice for heavily boosted engines or extended drain intervals. Category 3. Middle-tier balanced oils, USA plus France. Moving into the middle tier, we reach oils that strike a balance between affordability, chemistry sophistication, and real-world performance. Oils from the United States and France fit into this category, but for very different reasons. American synthetic oils are unique because the label full synthetic can mean many things. In the US, Group 3 hydrocracked base oils are legally allowed to be marketed as full synthetic, even though in Europe that term is typically reserved for higher-end PAO or ester-based blends. This means the American market contains some of the best performing synthetics available, alongside some of the most inconsistent. During testing, top-tier US brands with strong additive packages performed exceptionally well. They showed solid wear protection, low volatility, stable viscosity, and good resistance to sludge and varnish. Engines using these oils came out clean, with minimal carbon buildup and good turbo bearing condition. However, budget American synthetics told a different story. They displayed higher evaporation, faster thinning under heat, and earlier varnish formation, despite having the same certifications printed on the label. France, on the other hand, demonstrated more consistency. French oils tended to use stronger detergent systems and higher levels of friction modifiers such as molybdenum. They provided solid wear protection and cleanliness, especially in engines designed around European ACEA and OEM standards. While not as extreme in heat resistance as German or Korean blends, French oils handled stress far better than lower-tier options. In short, the US offers outstanding performance if you choose premium formulas, while France delivers stable, well-balanced results across most conditions. For everyday engines, both regions offer strong solutions, as long as selection is careful, especially in the American market. Category 4. Clean-running precision oils, Japan. Japanese synthetic oils revealed a completely different engineering philosophy. One focused less on extreme heat resistance and more on internal cleanliness, stability, and precision lubrication. Instead of relying on aggressive anti-wear additives like high ZDDP levels, Japanese formulations prioritize extremely pure base oils, low ash chemistry, and carefully balanced additive packages designed to keep engines spotless over long periods of city driving and frequent cold starts. During lab analysis, Japanese oils consistently showed low volatility, meaning they were less likely to evaporate under heat or contribute to oil consumption, Their detergent systems were also highly refined, not necessarily the strongest for dissolving heavy carbon, but incredibly effective at preventing buildup from forming in the first place. The results during teardown were unmistakable. Piston crowns stayed cleaner, ring lands remained free-moving, and timing chains, one of the most sensitive components in modern engines, showed noticeably lower wear compared to many other oil categories. This aligns perfectly with Japan's focus on small displacement, high-rev engines where friction and deposit control are critical. However, there was one limitation. Japanese oils weren't always the best under long-duration high-heat loads found in turbocharged or high-boost engines. Their moderate ZDDP content and additive restraint meant that, while they kept internal surfaces remarkably clean, they didn't always provide the same extreme temperature protection as PAO ester heavy oils from Europe or GTL-based blends from South Korea. For hybrid engines, daily city driving, high mileage reliability, and engines known to be sensitive to varnish or chain stretch, Japanese oils excel. They deliver the cleanest running results in the lineup, almost clinically so. But for hard-driven turbos or performance builds, stronger high-heat formulations may be a better match. Category 5. Advanced Synthetic Leaders, South Korea plus Germany. At the top of the performance spectrum, two regions stood out for building oils engineered not just to meet standards, but to exceed them under the harshest real-world conditions: South Korea and Germany. Both produced oils that demonstrated exceptional stability, cleanliness, and wear protection. But they achieved that excellence through very different chemical pathways. South Korean synthetic oils lean heavily on GTL, gas-to-liquid base stock technology. GTL oil is naturally pure, low in contaminants, highly resistant to oxidation, and remarkably stable under high heat and pressure. In testing, Korean oils maintain viscosity better than almost every other category, showing minimal shear loss even after extended thermal stress. Turbo bearings stayed clean, varnish was nearly non-existent, and wear metals were consistently among the lowest measured. These oils are especially effective in turbocharged and modern GDI engines, where heat and shear stress are constant challenges. Then there's Germany, the region that effectively treats engine oil like aerospace engineering. German formulations frequently use Group 4 PAO and Group 5 ester blends, the most advanced synthetic base oils available. These oils showed virtually zero oxidation, extremely low volatility, and exceptional film strength even above 250 degrees Fahrenheit oil temperature. Esters also provide natural detergency and metal adhesion, meaning the oil doesn't simply lubricate. It bonds to metal surfaces for an additional layer of protection when pressure spikes. During teardown inspections, engines running German oils looked astonishingly clean, almost factory new. Even after repeated high-load testing, no sludge, no varnish, and no measurable turbo coking. Both Korean and German blends delivered top-tier results, but Germany held a slight edge in ultimate thermal endurance and long-interval durability, while Korean oils offered exceptional performance to cost efficiency. The biggest surprises from testing. After running all 8 oils through lab analysis, stress cycles, and full teardown inspections, several results stood out, and not in the ways most people expected. The first major surprise was how much variation existed between oils that carried the exact same certifications. 2 bottles labeled 5W30 Full Synthetic and APISP Approved performed completely differently once subjected to heat, shear, and long-duration operation. Certifications confirmed compatibility, not quality. Another unexpected finding was the role price played, or didn't play. Some of the most expensive oils didn't score first in wear protection or thermal stability. Meanwhile, one mid-priced Korean GTL-based oil outperformed well-known premium brands that cost nearly double. It showed that refinery technology and formulation strategy matter far more than brand reputation. The third surprise was how much additive philosophy influenced cleanliness. Oils with heavy detergent and dispersant systems kept engines clean, but sometimes sacrificed volatility or shear stability. Meanwhile, ester-rich formulations didn't just prevent deposits, they bonded to metal surfaces, giving visible protection during teardown. There were also unexpected weaknesses. Oils engineered for mild climates performed poorly in high-temperature turbo cycles, while heavy European formulations sometimes struggled with fuel dilution in short-trip environments. No oil excelled in every category. Each seemed optimized for a specific driving reality. But the biggest shock was this. The country where the oil originated was often the strongest predictor of performance characteristics. Cultural engineering priorities, climate assumptions, and refinery capability shaped the chemistry far more than labeling did. In the end, the test proved one clear point. Choosing the right synthetic oil isn't about marketing or popularity. It's about matching the formulation to the environment and the engine. Choosing oil based on reality, not the label. After seeing how differently these oils behaved, one thing became clear. The label on the bottle doesn't tell the whole story. Most drivers choose oil based on the brand name, the viscosity printed on the front, or whatever their manual recommends. But the real deciding factors should be engine type, driving environment, climate, and mileage, not just the wording on the label. For example, if you drive a turbocharged engine, especially a GDI turbo, oil temperature climbs fast. In that situation, GTL-based or PAO/ester oils from Germany or South Korea tend to provide the strongest protection. Their chemistry is designed to resist extreme temperature, maintain thickness under stress, and avoid turbo-bearing coking. If your engine spends most of its life doing short city trips, lots of cold starts and stop-and-go traffic, then Japanese oils often fare better. Their cleaner additive systems help prevent varnish and timing, chain wear caused by fuel dilution, and incomplete warm-up cycles. Live in a hot desert climate, oils formulated for tropical regions, like Malaysia or high-heat European blends, will survive high sustained temperatures better than lightweight synthetics optimized for fuel economy. Daily driver in a mild climate, premium US and European blends perform well, as long as you avoid the bottom-tier options that thin out quickly under stress. For engines with high mileage or older tolerances, a slightly thicker and more robust formulation from Germany or US high-mileage lines may provide better sealing and quieter operation. The key takeaway is simple. Oil should be selected the same way tires are, based on conditions and purpose, not because the bottle looks familiar. When the oil matches the way the engine is used, protection improves, wear decreases, and engines last longer. Final verdict? The rule. Every driver should follow. After comparing oils from 8 countries, one conclusion became impossible to ignore. There is no single best synthetic oil in the world. There are only oils that are best for certain engines, in certain climates, under certain driving conditions. German ester-rich synthetics excel under brutal heat and high boost. Korean GTL oils offer incredible stability and cleanliness for modern turbo and GDI engines. Japanese oils keep engines spotless and timing chains healthy in stop-and-go city driving. French oils are balanced and protective for European designs. American synthetics range from exceptional to average depending on formulation tier. Malaysia builds oils for heat, not cold. The UK and Turkey deliver budget-friendly solutions suitable for lighter, naturally aspirated use. So here's the rule every driver should follow. Choose oil based on how you drive, not where it was made, not the logo on the bottle, and not just the viscosity number. If you push your engine hard, run a turbo, tow, or live where summers are extreme, choose an oil designed for heat and high shear stability. If you mostly take short trips, have a newer engine, or need protection from varnish and timing chain wear, choose an oil engineered for cleanliness and low volatility. If your engine has high mileage, pick a formula optimized for sealing, film strength, and long-term protection. The right oil isn't the one that looks good on the shelf. It's the one that matches your reality. Because when oil chemistry aligns with engine demands, engines don't just run better, they last longer.